we're on the road, driving, because there's a lot of driving.
It's what we do.
Anyway,
I feel like Willie Nelson.
we do like the freeways though. America does good roads. Good roads?
Good roads.
Good roads.
Good roads. Good highways. Good freeways.
Yeah.
Good roads.
Fast food options questionable. Highways
Good.
excellent. Okay, so we've seen a couple of yards, and I thought we should just chat about what we really liked about them. What were our key takeaways? What did we think they were doing really well? Why don't we start? Let's go in reverse order. Yeah. So yesterday yes, the latest.
Okay, let's do it.
So yesterday afternoon we saw Amber at Pete's.
Great business.
Great business.
Love what Amber's doing.
What was something that really you took away from that tour?
So
also watch the road while you're talking.
I'll do that.
I know you can't.
What I really liked about that business and Amber in particular is the fact that she's got really good people around her.
Yeah.
She trusts her team, right? So she empowers them to do what they need to do, and she trusts them, which gives her the opportunity to actually work more strategically on the business. So just the way Amber thinks, she's thinking differently. She's thinking about technology. How do I use this better? She's got her Smart Cycle dashboard up there, looking at that all the time, for example. But she's thinking about how to do things differently and how to adapt the business for the future. So I think that was really, really good. And in a world where we as business owners or managers find it really hard to find that extra time.
Yeah.
It's finite, as we know, time, you can't make any more of it. So you need to find better ways of using that time. And I think Amber's there. She knows what she's doing there. She knows that she needs to be more productive herself so that she can build a better business.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. That was really good.
I agree. Yeah, it was a really nice yard.
The other thing I liked about what Amber does is she made it really clear that when she goes to conferences, she takes notes. She mentioned the session that you did, Georgia, with
UIG and
Megan from Phoenix last time on social media and marketing, and she refers to those notes all the time.
Yep.
Right, and when she had a bit of an issue recently with some technology in her business, she reached out to you to see if you could help, and that's a really good thing. I mean, as an industry, we're very open with one another, so I think feel free to reach out to the people in the industry, reach out to different vendors about how they can help you. And it doesn't have to be that you need to, buy their services or anything like that. Most people are going to be happy to help you no matter what.
Okay, so moving on.
Yep.
Pete's was awesome. And then in the morning we saw Ross
Lewicki from Highway in Detroit. Again, great. I think that's a second generation business. His dad started it with a U-Pull yard and so forth.
I think his dad still runs the other one, he said.
I think, possible. So, again, really nice business. And Ross is modernising that business. He's buying later model inventory. But what I really liked about what Ross is doing there is, again, he's got some really good people around him. And it's probably an interesting theme here, people. Yeah. But he's got some really good people around him, especially in his e-commerce area. And I know from a traditional automotive recycling perspective, e-commerce is not something that we've really focused on. You could argue that we're a little bit late to the game. Actually, it's probably a very good argument there. But nonetheless, he's doing a really good job of it, and he's got good people in that part of the business that understand what e-commerce requires in order for it to become successful.
Yeah.
There are some tactical things that need to be done. That is, if it's eBay, for example, you need to list the parts properly, you need to optimize those parts, etc. But it's not just about throwing everything up either. They've only got
5,500
listings,
and they've got a very robust,
really good numbers.
Yeah,
better than most businesses are doing in the US at the minute on eBay, right? With minimal listings. So that was excellent. The fact that he's invested in that part of the business, not only money, but he's invested in strategy. He's invested in his people. That's really important. We forget about that. We often think of investments in this business as buying more cars. Yep, important, absolutely. But we need to invest in some of the other softer parts of the business that will help us in the future.
Good chat there. I like that. I liked what you said there, and I agree. So now I'm going to rattle my little poor sore brain, and I think we visited before we went to Ross. We went and saw Witt.
Yep.
So we saw Witt in
Ridge Road.
Ridge Road
in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes.
So here's the difference. Witt is first generation, been in the business a handful of years, purchased the business, I think he said in 22, so he's only been in that one there for a couple of years.
2022.
2022, yeah.
Did you say 2020? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It was that.
Yeah.
But from Witt's perspective, he's on a knowledge gathering journey.
Yeah, he
right?
is.
I met Witt the first time, I think, when he just bought that business a couple of years ago at URG, and he didn't really know anyone there. He came up to me, introduced himself, started having a bit of a chat, and he was absorbing. You know, he was the sponge trying to learn as much as possible. And what we're seeing with Witt is that he's making incremental changes to that business, and, you know, he's taking in information. Like, you know, we went on the tour last year at URG.
Yeah.
And Witt was one of the first ones to sign up to it because he knows he can learn so much, not only from the facilities that we visit, but from one another on the bus.
Yeah.
And certainly what we're seeing is Witt putting into place a lot of that learning.
He's executing it. He's not just going and taking it in. He's taking it in and he's coming back and he's putting it into place. Yeah, yeah. I thought that as well. Definitely.
I thought Witt's doing a great job there. Yes, he's got a ways to go, but he's early in the, you know, some other businesses are third generation, right?
Yeah.
I think Amber was third generation.
She was.
So Witt's doing a great job there, and I think he's on the right trajectory.
Yeah, agreed.
So the message out of Witt is learn, take that back to your business, and implement. Yeah. Don't try and do everything at the same time. You're not going to be able to do everything at the same time. Make a list of the key things you need to do, and then prioritize those key things to the top 3 and put some timelines around those so that you can get them in place. Some things are going to take longer than others. Try and prioritize them and get them in place and then move on to the next one. Yeah.
And I don't want to say last but not least, because we've got more yards we're visiting today, and obviously we went to my auto store as well, but of the smaller facilities we have visited on this particular trip, Holbrook.
Absolutely.
We went to see Jason and Thomas. Sorry. Oops.
So, there's an interesting business again in Detroit. 3 locations.
Very busy front counter.
Very busy front counter, incredibly busy front counter. They do new service parts as well, a fairly big part of their business, although the recycle parts I think is the main bit. What we see there is a business that understands training, in my view, and the importance of training their people. So Jason's not traditionally from the auto recycling industry, more from a corporate background. Thomas, one of the owners of the business, decided to go with Pinnacle, and they've had Pinnacle since the end of July, so it's 3 or 4 months. If that, most businesses take 6 or so months to transition from their historical, yard management system to their new one, whether that's a Pinnacle to PowerLink transition or a PowerLink to Pinnacle transition. It takes time, and their people often struggle with it. What these guys have been really good at doing is training their team and putting those extracurricular hours in, both themselves, but also with their team. And the evidence we've got there is that they're loving Pinnacle. Right? Yeah. Now, it's not because of Pinnacle, it's because they have put the effort in. Yeah. So the key thing there that I took from Holbrook is the importance of training your team so that you can make any transition a good transition.
Yeah, excellent. All right, well, we've got a couple more facilities we're going to be seeing over the next couple of days, so we may do another one of these little recaps.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Let's do that.
But for now, I'm going to do some karaoke in the car and entertain you with my amazing singing.
Well, we've also got, I want to run through some of the stuff we did in the UK as well. What did we see in the UK?
Oh, you want to do that?
What's
Okay.
a little bit
You don't
different
want to hear me sing?
Probably not.
Okay. All right.
No, we don't have to do it on this one. We can do it on
We can do it now. Let's go. Let's smash it out. Charles Trent. We'll start at the beginning this time.
Well, we're starting at the beginning. That's about a week and a half ago now. Charles Trent, I suppose most of you have probably seen, we've done a lot of posts. I was going to say posting and then I went to posts. Anyway,
Just stop talking.
a lot of posts on Charles Trent over the last couple of years. An amazing business, a demanufacturing facility that's just, I often say it's the best automotive recycling business or facility that I've seen anywhere in the world. And it remains that way. The thing I take out of Charles Trent is that 2 years ago they had the same operation, right? And it was brand new. 2 years down the track, they've tweaked, they've adjusted, and every single week they keep on tweaking and adjusting to improve.
They do. I'm privy to those emails.
I think what they are doing there is, it's not only best practice for this industry, it's best practice for a lot of industries, and it comes down to not only the practice, it comes down to the thinking.
Yeah.
It comes down to how we approach problems, how we approach innovation, putting really good structures and processes in place, and having really, really good teams that are skilled. A lot of the people that are in that business are not traditional auto recyclers.
Yes.
And I know we sometimes frown upon that. We often say, you need junkyard guys. Well, not necessarily. You need junkyard guys to run junkyards. You need a combination of junkyard guys and influences from outside the industry to bring those best practices to the automotive recycling business.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the Charles Trent experience from my perspective.
Yeah.
They remain top class.
Okay. And then Charles Trent, we went and
Silver Lake.
Silver Lake,
Alan Preble and Nacho over at Silver Lake.
Yep.
Again, what a beautiful business. I know lots of you will know Alan from attending the ARA conferences. He's going to be here again next week. Similar to Charles Trent, obviously they don't have a demanufacturing line there, but very similar. They use Pinnacle very well. Nacho's ex-Pinnacle over there, trainer and installer. So being able to really use Pinnacle properly in that business over the last couple of years since putting it in. They are, again, one of the nicest facilities you're going to see anywhere. The key there, I think, is the investment and the strategy being put in place for that business. They don't just do things because that's what happens every day. They do things because they plan for that to happen every day. And if you don't plan for it, it's never going to happen, right? Yep. So planning, again, they're people. We've had some new people there. Technology guys, their CTO is ex-insurance. Yes, he's an automotive guy, but he's really smart at what he does, and he gets some of the AI that's out there at the minute, some of the stuff that we spoke about. Mm-hmm. He looked at that and said, it's refreshing that, you guys are looking at that type of stuff and thinking about it. So bring the right people into your businesses. It's not just about doing the same old thing the same way because we're going to get the same outcome. Yeah. We need to start thinking a little bit differently, and that's what the UK auto recyclers really do well.
Yes. Okay. And then we saw Mark
Swain from Pickup in Wales. So we've done a bit of travelling. We've
done a bit.
Multiple countries.
Three.
We went to England, we went to Wales, and now
we did go to Wales. There you go. Look at that.
So Mark, second generation business again. I tell you what, he's invested in that site amazingly. He's got a huge new concrete area that he's put in place.
He also has a church where he stores his engines.
Yes.
That was very cool.
So he's got this old church as part of the property. He's got multiple properties that he works from. Challenging for him, but at the same time, Mark finds ways to make that work. And one of the properties has a church backing onto it, and the church has been converted into engine storage. Quite incredible. Still got the old stained glass windows there,
Yeah.
etc. So amazing. Again, Mark trying to do things differently. He's pushing the boundaries there. Obviously has different challenges to the other businesses. But the thing I take out of Mark is his long-serving people.
Mhm.
I think one of them was 45 years or something
Yep.
like that. So extraordinary. He's investing in his people, and he
He-
knows everyone by name. You know, he walks around the business. It's a big business, and everyone knows Mark. Mark knows everyone. He invests in his people. You know, we did training for him a year or so ago, offsite. He brought all his people to this training facility. We spent a couple of days with them there. That's an investment. It's an investment in, in his people, and I think they appreciate that. He gets paid back for that in multiples.
Yep. So, look, the only yard we haven't talked about then that we did visit is My Auto Store.
Yeah.
And I think it naturally follows on from Mark when you talk about people.
Yeah.
And leadership, sort of
Yeah.
investing in their people and not just investing, but investing emotionally in their people. I mean, I've never seen anything like it when Chris Healy walks around the yards.
High-fiving people and hugging people.
I think there was more hugs than high fives. Just every single person, every single man on the ground.
Shaking hands.
Yep, knows their story, knows who they are, what they do, what makes them tick. It was
Thanking everyone.
thanking them. Yeah, shouting pizzas for different divisions. I mean, it was just, it's quite extraordinary.
Yeah, look, huge operation. They've just moved into the 300,000 square foot warehouse. My Auto Store has been on a very big and long journey towards the future. Obviously, they've come out of the scrap business through EMR, but they're transitioning, and I think what we're going to see at My Auto Store over the next 3 to 6 months is an extraordinary outcome with that new warehouse. The way they're sifting through their historic inventory at the minute to weed out, the stuff that shouldn't be there is a credit to them, because it's not easy to let stuff go like that.
No,
So
and it's a huge job.
they're on that journey. They're a big organisation, big numbers of vehicles, not a normal business as far as auto recycling is concerned. But again, as you said, Georgia, I think what I see there is an open door policy to the Chief Operating Officer's office, where people move in and out all day, every day, sharing ideas, and Chris really embraces everyone in that team and trusts them.
Yep.
He trusts them, and I it's refreshing when you see that. Somewhat hectic, but
Busy.
refreshing.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
people, embrace your people, guys. Make sure that you invest in them. Make sure that you understand who they are. Just be good to them.
Yep.
Because they'll be good to you. Absolutely.
Good bosses make good people. All right. I think it's time for me to sing.
Well,
Yeah, I know you're excited.
you're not really going to sing.
I might. I've got a good lineup ready to go on my playlist.
I think we call it a day. I think we call it a day and let everyone get back to their business. What do you reckon?
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Talk to you soon, guys.